Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. 3 Army MPs patrolling Hunter Airfield in 1973 see a UFO streak across the base. It's a significant event, but not just because of what they saw. The Hunter incident marked the last time any active duty military personnel would be allowed to speak freely to the media about their UFO sightings. After Hunter, the Pentagon slammed the door on speaking out. Among the historic landmarks in and around the graceful southern city of Savannah, Georgia, is Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. It was here, in the early morning hours of September the 8th, 1973, that a watershed UFO event occurred. The sighting of a brilliant oval craft by military police patrolmen was to be the first in a series of UFO encounters over a number of military bases throughout the United States. The Hunter event was also significant because it seemed to sound a death knell for the government's open door policy regarding UFOs. It's 2:30 a.m. Specialists 4th Class Bart Burns and Randy Shade are on a routine patrol of the base perimeter. It's easy duty. The base will be closed in just a few weeks, and nearly everyone and everything has been shipped out. Suddenly, a bright light catches Sergeant Burns' attention. It hovers just above the treetops, then suddenly dives directly at the MP's car. The craft missed them by a whisker. Burns' radio transmission to the base dispatcher was picked up by the local media. Their requests for interviews were quickly granted, and for 2 days, Burns and Shade's close encounter was front-page news. Then, 2 days after the event, the MPs stopped talking, and within 2 weeks, both were transferred to different bases.
That only tells me one thing. When they confined these MPs to the base and then shipped them out after the sighting, they were trying to cover that sighting up. Something very spectacular occurred there.
Investigator Lawrence Fawcett has been researching reported UFO intrusions at military bases for over 30 years. He has co-written a book on the subject titled The UFO Cover-Up. A former police lieutenant, Fawcett believes Hunter was the first in a series of incidents where vocal military personnel were punished.
I've seen this numerous times in other cases where in the beginning the people involved would begin talking only to be shut up later on or shipped out.
The government gag should have kept the Hunter UFO safely shrouded in obscurity, but the MPs were not the only people who saw the UFO. Savannah News Press editor Marcus Holland was an eyewitness. He reported seeing an oval craft streak across the sky, emitting red, green, and white light.
I've never seen a plane moving at that type speed, and there's just no plane that could fly that fast. I didn't know whether to be scared or not. I just, I said to myself, you know, could this be a UFO? You know, is that what I'm seeing? But I just had no idea. It just flashed across, went down, and went, to me it looked like it went down on the back of Hunter Field, which would have been perimeter road area.
On September 8, 1973, Jerry Smith and her son Albert, who was 9 years old at the time, were driving home to Savannah when they both saw the UFO.
As I was driving, all of a sudden, Albert looked up, and I said, "What's the matter?" And just then the car lit up. Oh, I mean, just bright red iridescent lights just lit the car up. And this thing was hovering over, and the colors were going around, and they were all blending in together, and they were very bright. I never saw anything like this that close, never in my whole life.
Newspaper articles, eyewitness accounts, and a few brief government documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Act were all that Lawrence Fawcett could uncover about the Hunter incident during more than 20 years of investigation. Then, in 1995, a sightings researcher made an important discovery. He came across an article in a computer database that led him to former Sergeant Bart Burns. Fawcett had wanted to talk to the long-silent MP for 2 decades, and now, finally, he would get his chance. Burns, now a commercial pilot living in a suburb of Chicago, agreed to a meeting in Savannah.
What did you think it was at that time?
I had no idea what it was. I didn't have a clue. I mean, I had never seen anything like it before, so I couldn't even compare it to anything. No, people don't believe you if you go to tell it. So I really haven't told that story in 20-some years. I just let it go. The first time I even thought about it was when I got a call from you people.
With Fawcett and a sightings investigative team, Bart Burns agreed to return to Hunter Army Airfield and retrace his route.
This is where we were doing that patrolling that night. Actually, we were doing just like this, same direction and everything. Broke right over these treetops right here. And at this point here, I ducked down and Randy swerved off. And we went off the road right back, probably about where that sign is there. Okay. And
You were heading in this direction?
yeah, this is exactly how, this is this place, this is it. When I got back up and Randy was screaming, whatever, what was that, what was that? We noticed the thing was now down. Senses were pretty well heightened at that point. Matter of fact, I think I even had to tell Randy to leave his 45 holstered at that point. He didn't know what to do. Nobody really knew what to do. We didn't even know what it was. There's nothing I'd ever seen in aviation. It didn't have wings or propellers or jets. The rate of acceleration was far too rapid, absolutely no noise. And about then, the thing just took off, just gone. As we were driving back Perimeter Road back to the base, we weren't sure how everybody else was going to perceive this thing. So we said, well, we'll just tell the truth, and that's all we can do. I mean, if they believe us, they believe us. If they don't, hey, what are we going to do?
Taken on its own, the Hunter incident is an isolated case of a military base overflight by a UFO, witnessed by credible, highly trained military observers. But in the 2 years following this incident, Hunter became only the first in a series of military base overflights. Between 1973 and 1975, more than 75 bases reportedly had sightings of UFOs. But we will never have a full accounting of these UFO incidents because of what happened at Hunter Army Airfield.
Within the structure of the military, and that they're not going to reward you for reporting an incident like that. It just doesn't behoove anybody to be passing out medals for that one.
Sightings has also located Alexander Murray, the dispatcher who received the original UFO report. Sightings will bring you his interview on a future program. Investigator Larry Fawcett is still trying to locate the second MP who witnessed the UFO alongside Bart Burns. The former MP's name is Randy Shade, and in 1973, Shade was a Spec 4 at Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah, Georgia.